So, the Attorney General, in his role as Industrial Relations Minister, has announced an intended change to the Workers' Reputation and Compensation Act. There will be contemplated a reintroduction of common law claims. Statutory entitlements will cease after a period of time, questioning whether a redemption will then be offered to a worker who's still incapacitated. There will be emphasis put on early intervention and return to work, although I've got to observe that many attempts have been made to rehabilitate injured workers in the past. So I don't know what it is about what terrific. The Liberal government, Liberal opposition, if they become government, haven't committed to anything in this area, but have been vocal in criticising the government about its workers' compensation record. What would you, if you were to have one, to this important area, given particularly that the government has elucidated a very clear vision of what it would do in its next term?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't encourage people to rely on the latest cunning plan that the Weather or Labor governments come up with. Let's remember the government has been in governance in this state for 12 years. This is not the first time they've tried to fix WorkCover. And yet after 12 years we have the highest levy rate in the country, we've got the worst return to work rate in the country, and we've got an unfunded liability approaching $1.4 billion. And in his characteristic honesty, the attorney described the system as buggy. And you were generous enough to say this in your contribution. Mr. Esposito, I'll show you my original copy. That's a typo. But be that as it may. So after 12 years, the government now says that with these improvements they could save $180 million. $180 million over 12 years means that if the government had actually acted effectively earlier, we could have saved $2.2 billion. Going to your question, I must admit I didn't realise I was about to announce a little policy, but the government has committed to a complete review and total rewrite of the Act, and the Liberal team is committed to the same goal. We will review the Act, and we will include consideration of common law and redundancy payments. My understanding, the Attorney can get me wrong, is that he's intending that his change to come into effect by the 1st of July 2015. We'd have the same time frame. So I hate to sort of end the Q&A with too much unanimity, but that's what we've got.
Can I say something about this?
Yes.
This project is something I've been working on for a year. I became IR Minister in about a year ago. We went straight into a consideration of WorkCover. I said up front that it was going to be a several phased program. First phase was dealing with the WorkCover Corporation legislation, in other words, governance. We put changes through the Parliament last year, which means we have a completely new governance model. We have a new board. We have a new management team in there as well. We also put a new charter, which is the rules that the Treasurer and the Minister for Industrial Relations give to the WorkCover Corporation to tell them how to do their job. My aspiration at that time was that the break-even point, which is 3.34% presently of premium, would be brought back to what's actually being charged, 2.75 by those measures. I made it clear at that time that would do nothing more than that. Now, I have reason to think things are working well. We then went into the second phase, which was, okay, that's not going to get the scheme anywhere near where we need it to be. So what we're putting out there, what we've got out there, Maury, is not something which is just a flying a kite. That is what you will get. That is the policy. It's not a review. It's nothing. All that's finished. That is exactly what you get.